Severe thunderstorm warning right now. Marinette, O'Connell, and the eastern sections of Menominee and the very eastern edge of Langlade County. That is until 10 o'clock. We have another severe thunderstorm warning, again with the considerable tag, with winds as high as 70 miles per hour. That's until 9:45 for Brown, eastern Outagamie County, the eastern edge of Winnebago County, really from Oshkosh right along the Lake Winnebago shoreline eastward, and that runs across Calumet County and into western sections of Manitowoc County. Then we have a severe thunderstorm warning, a new one for western Fond du Lac County, and a tornado warning for eastern Fond du Lac County into northern Sheboygan County. That tornado warning runs until 9:30. So notice everything still right along that line as it's marching through the area. It's currently 9:21, and this line has been marching through the area here for the last, boy, I don't know, 2 hours? About 2 hours? So it is marching through, and we are going to come to an end where we'll see the severe weather threat shift out into Lake Michigan. That's probably coming up between 10 and 10:30. So this line is one of the advantages of a storm that's moving so fast is the rainfall is going to be less because the storms are moving so quickly. And the severe weather threat ends sooner because it moves out into Lake Michigan a little bit quicker. We are going to see the strong winds, though, as this is moving through, and really that's what we've been seeing. Right now, we have a lot of lightning. What are you seeing, Phil?
We also have new severe thunderstorm warning. This is now for the rest of Brown County out into Manitowoc, Kewaunee, and up into Door counties as well. So what they're watching for is this line that's pushing its way through Green Bay right now and then up out to the lakeshore for producing those winds.
Interesting thing with that, Phil, that severe thunderstorm warning, that brand new one, did not get the considerable tag.
Good point.
Everything else has been getting the considerable tag. This did not. This as until 10 p.m. maximum wind 60 miles per hour. Indicating it's getting closer to lakeshore.
Yeah.
It's running into a little bit more stable air. It is past sunset, but that does include northern Manitowoc County, eastern Brown, all of Kewaunee County, and Door County, including Chambers Island, up to about Peninsula State Park. So literally most of Door County. Okay. What is the camera that's here in Green Bay? Okay, so we're seeing very heavy rain falling here in Green Bay. We can hear it on the roof here at Fox 11. And you see some sheets where the rain kind of comes through in sheets, indicating the winds getting gusty at times. Go ahead, Phil.
And we have a report from, it's actually a National Weather Service employee in Ashwaubenon, wind gust of 56 miles an hour at the National Weather Service. So that was as this line of storms came through just in the last couple minutes.
Okay, so... And that was from the ASOS at the...
no, I think that was
just from the office.
I think that was someone outside sticking their arm out with.
So that's actually from the office?
Yes, someone at the office, yeah.
Great. Then meteorologists and National Weather Service right on top of everything as usual. And you can see we've had a lot to deal with tonight, and we always appreciate, their help and working with us on all of this stuff. So we have the line of thunderstorms coming through. Right now, the leading edge is sitting in northern O'Connell County, right around Mountain and Lakewood, extending down through eastern Brown County. It's almost right on top of the east side of Green Bay, down through Denmark, and then right through the eastern portions of Calumet County to about Kiel and New Holstein, and it continues marching east. So this line will be hitting the lakeshore here probably within about a half hour, 45 minutes. One thing I'm noticing is now these two lines have become one line.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, and we're also seeing a little bit of a degradation in the radar returns, where the radar returns are not quite as intense as they were earlier, but that could also be because it's raining exceptionally hard on top of the radar right now. So sometimes that kind of attenuates the radar signal.
So the Milwaukee National Weather Service did issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties. That's in effect till 10. I would imagine that's going to take the place of the tornado warning, which is set to expire in just a few minutes here. So my hunch is that that's a sign that they're going to allow that tornado warning to expire and allow the severe thunderstorm warning to take its place.
That's the new, and that's not the considerable. It
actually is the considerable.
Oh, so that's the one for southern Fond du Lac and all of Sheboygan.
Yes, yep.
Okay, so here, let me slide this to the side here. So that's this tornado, or this severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern sections of Fond du Lac County, and then extending across Sheboygan County, basically from Sheboygan and say Kohler and Plymouth southward in Sheboygan County. We're going to go ahead and check in with meteorologist Christian Palacio. He's currently in the Fox 11 Storm Chaser. And Christian, let me know where you're at. I heard you're just east of Menasha, but let me know where you're at and what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, right now we are in Calumet County. We're on US Highway 10. We are about to pull up to Highway 55 to head north towards Kaukauna. So we're still a little ways out from heading out there. But as we continue to drive, every now and then the rain does continue to pick up a little bit. And then there is just a little bit of debris on the road, just mainly leaves and some small branches. So that's some good news there. But yeah, that rain continues to certainly come down. It looks like it'll just stick around for a little while. But we'll let you know when we are heading into the Kaukauna area. And we'll go ahead and send it back to you, Patrick.
Yeah, and Christian, it's important, and I think that's an important thing to let people at home know, is the severe weather is at this leading edge, and Phil and I have been talking about that for the last 2 hours. The leading edge moves in. You get rotations around that leading edge. You get severe thunderstorms pushing strong winds out. But behind the leading edge, you fill into a lot of lightning. You fill into a consistent moderate to heavy rain, and you can see some flash flooding effects behind the main line. So you don't see the flash flooding with the initial phase of this. That happens as this new activity just kind of fills in on the back side of the main line, and you see that just rain over the same areas for the next few hours before everything comes to an end. Notice we have seen some new development here, basically over western and southern sections of Waupaca County, Waushara County, and extending up into Marathon and western Langlade. So as that starts to blossom, the entire area becomes more of a complex of thunderstorms instead of a line of thunderstorms. And that complex, as it transitions, you can see an immense amount of lightning, but you could also transition to more of a heavy rain threat as you head into the overnight. And that's a pretty common occurrence, especially for the eastern side of the plains. So we may be seeing a little bit of that here. And really, there is a concern for some flash flooding. In the short term, though, it would be more of a concern for urban and street flooding, where you get very heavy rain in a short period of time and it's falling on concrete and asphalt and things like that. But I'm going to put the lightning on this product right now. Actually, let's just check the current lightning strikes. So, I mean, it's an immense amount of lightning. A lot of this has been cloud to ground, but there's also some cloud to cloud lightning. Looks like the lightning has been a little more intense around Appleton, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac, and then again north of O'Connell Falls up towards Mountain. Looks like we had a little bit of a lull in the lightning, at least in the short term, around the Green Bay area and over central Brown County, which I could be a good thing, could lead to less in the way of power outages. Go ahead, Phil.
Just getting this in now from law enforcement reporting that in Ashwaubenon, on the north side of Ashwaubenon, it looks like perhaps kind of around that area that's just out to the west of the stadium, reports of wires down and reports of a tree through a roof. So that...
Right here in Ashwaubenon, does it have an address?
And apparently we have a reporter, Ben Krumholtz, who's headed there right now. So hopefully he'll be able to get a look at that for us in just a little bit. Clearly these storms are packing quite a punch as they move through.
Right.
What is that, Patrick?
Well, I was going to say that, you know, we're pretty close to that location there in Ashwaubenon.
Yeah,
we're not
right.
very far from that.
No, it's within a mile.
And we've had gusty winds, but I mean, it's been worse here at Fox 11. We've had stronger winds. So these kind of storms, you can get individual little bursts that come out of the line where you get winds up to 60 or 70 miles an hour, and 2 blocks away, they don't have anything. And you know, you can always keep up to date with this activity and these lines and the radar and the lightning with the Fox 11 weather app. It's really easy to use. And again, if you lose power, it's going to be hard to watch TV and get your updates and get those severe weather notifications that you need. Almost everybody carries a phone now. Almost everybody has it on them at all times. It's a really good way to keep track of the weather as this bad weather is coming through. And we haven't really had a line of storms like this in probably about 2 years. So right now, leading edge of the storm, cutting across Oconto County, eastern sections of Brown, down into Manitowoc County, and another stretch from central Lake Winnebago down through central Fond du Lac County. It does seem like Fond du Lac County has been getting hit particularly hard tonight.
We just want to remind the viewers that if you're in any of the areas that Patrick and Phil are talking about, you should take shelter immediately. Basements, of course, are the best place to be. If you don't have a basement, then of course you want an interior room without windows, like an interior bathroom, closet, or pantry. Don't try to ride out a tornado or these severe thunderstorms that are rolling through at the moment with these high winds in a camper or a mobile home. Also, put on a pair of shoes and grab a helmet if you can, because you never know, glass flying and different things could happen. You want to be safe. So head injuries are, of course, a big risk in severe weather, and you don't want to be walking through the debris in bare feet. Just some reminders there, not only for tornado warning safety, but these severe thunderstorms as well. We'll toss it back over to Patrick.
Yeah, Mark, I thought we'd do a quick overview of what's happened over the last couple of hours. You can see this big storm system and the line of storms with all of the lightning just progressing east across the state, marching steadily towards eastern Wisconsin. This is pretty soon going to be moving out into Lake Michigan, but also notice the center of low pressure out here near Minneapolis. And some of the power outages that we've had. A couple of tornado reports out in the Eau Claire area as well earlier on. But this area of low pressure near Minneapolis running north towards Duluth, that has been intensifying throughout the afternoon. That is a big part of the reason why we have such dynamic winds in the atmosphere around Wisconsin right now, and why we've had this very intense line move through the area, even though the atmosphere wasn't terribly unstable in our area through the day today. This is a live look at our camera. I believe that is Grand Chute. Okay, so still raining in Grand Chute, still have quite a bit of lightning in the Appleton and Fox Cities area, and I think that's going to be the case here for the foreseeable future, at least for the next hour or two. 9:35, that's what time it is right now. So here's the thunderstorms, and it's doing a really good job picking up where those thunderstorms are. So this is what you can expect as we move forward. So as we head through, say, 10:30, you still have some thunderstorms up in the northern end of the Door Peninsula, but notice the scattered thunderstorms that are remaining in eastern Wisconsin really weakening significantly. The leading edge of that line is up into northern Door and out into central Lake Michigan. So between now and 10:30, so over about the next 55 minutes, you're going to see this entire line progress east and then slowly start to fall apart. Beyond that, we'll head towards, say, 11:30 at night. And then there's a couple of isolated showers remaining. Go ahead, Phil.
Got a new storm report coming in from Kaukauna. This was back around 9 o'clock, so that would have been when that line of storms was just pushing through there. Trees and wires down in Kaukauna and in Little Chute, and a semi tipped over in Kaukauna. The time of that was 9:02. They were estimating that based on radar. So
Do you have a location for the semi?
I don't. It says semi tipped over in Kaukauna. That's as specific as it was.
I'm just guessing. I'm wondering if it's on Interstate 41.
Yeah, not sure.
Okay, so obviously high-profile vehicles in this kind of a wind environment, it's going to be a tough go. It's a tough drive. So thunderstorms leading edge now progressing eastward. I'm going to have to shift the radar even further east here because we have really moved things eastward. So the leading edge now just moving into western sections of Kewaunee County through western Manitowoc and down into eastern sections of Fond du Lac County. Phil?
Some good news. National Weather Service just expiring the severe thunderstorm warning for Brown, Calumet, Manitowoc, and Outagamie counties.
All right, let's zoom in on that.
So they are, it appears to be pretty aggressively actually chipping away at the back side of this.
That's great. So wait, it was the western one that was going to expire at 9:45? Brown, Outagamie, Calumet?
Yes, so it's that middle
Okay.
one, I think, right in the middle.
I'll
Expired.
highlight it for people.
Yeah.
It's this one.
Yep, that's the one that I believe.
So yeah, National Weather Service is canceling that. So we still continue with severe thunderstorm warnings along the lakeshore, and that makes absolute sense because look where the radar is right now. If I can get that to pop up, there we go. I'm gonna have to move this east and resave it here. So we are all over the place. All right, so the leading edge, I'm gonna put this on stop. Everything's moving too fast. So we'll put it on stop, hold it for a second. The leading edge of the storms now across the southern end of the bay into the western portions of Kewaunee County, through northern Manitowoc, and then down right to the Sheboygan-Fond du Lac County line. But it is marching east, and it's going to continue to work out into Lakeshore. I think really the biggest threat right now is from, say, Peshtigo and Marinette, southward through about the Denmark area, down to Manitowoc and Two Rivers, and then down through, well, Kohler and Sheboygan, and extending down to eastern Fond du Lac County. Once you get past the main edge, the leading edge of this line, and you get through the band of higher reflectivity, basically a lot of people will call it the reds on the radar. Once that higher reflectivity moves through, your severe threat is going to drop pretty quickly. But you will fill into, and Phil, this is almost certainly switching to more of a mesoscale convective complex. It seems to be filling in to more of a convective system where you would see heavy rain and frequent lightning. Thankfully, with the speed of this, I don't think this will cause flooding for us in a widespread fashion tonight.
Hopefully not.
But often, this would be the kind of setup that would lead to flooding, because this first line comes through and then it just continues to develop on the backside. Part of the reason we're seeing this development on the backside is the warm front is still in central Wisconsin, and the frontal boundary is still in western Wisconsin. So we're seeing this move through. All right, we're going to go ahead and check in with meteorologist Christian Palacio in Kaukauna right now. He's with the Fox 11 Storm Chaser, but I don't know if they're moving. Christian, what is happening now?
Yeah, so we actually just crossed in, just past Wisconsin Avenue on Law Street here in Kaukauna. We're right next to the Quick Trip here, and I'm not sure if you can see well, but the power is definitely out here. And there's also, I believe, some sheriff officers right around here, because this must be where the tree damage is located. Oh yeah, there is a tree blocking the intersection here of Taylor Street / Catherine Street. Right here on Law Street. So yeah, again, just be careful when you're out here in Kaukauna, because it is very dark. You can't really see anything, and there's another part of a tree branch right up here. So yeah, something to consider when you're out here. But yeah, it looks like this whole section of Kaukauna seems to not have any power right now. So if you happen to be heading out into this area, we're actually pulling up to another big branch right here. Could barely see that from well back there. But yeah, we're taking it very slow, of course, and we are making sure that we're able to see before we continue to drive to wherever we need to. But yeah, Patrick, I gotta tell you, right here, it looks like there's a little bit of a mess with a lot of these tree branches and just bits of debris around this area of Kaukauna.
Hey, Christian, I'm seeing that, and are you on an east-west or a north-south roadway?
We are right now on the northbound Law Street. We are just passing. We are just passing through DeCarmi Street. I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah. Hey, I'm seeing a lot of the tree and branch damage, like laying just strewn across the road. Is that coming from the left side of the road?
Oh,
like do
yeah,
you see
Patrick.
this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like based on the wind, damn it, it looks like it came from basically the east side of the road. Most of these trees looks like they came from the east side of the road, but yeah, it looks like for
They
a
came from
good
the east side
stretch
of the road?
here, most of the trees are down.
So Christian,
Yeah, it looks like the trees came from the east side of the road.
those
So
trees are
all
facing
along-
west.
Okay. Yeah, I
okay.
mean, it looks like, yeah, if I had to guess, the trees are from the east side of the road. And so, yeah, a good amount of this road, there is a lot of trees down. So we have to carefully drive around here to see with this oncoming traffic here. We got to take turns.
Yeah, I see all those trees and branches down. It's no wonder there's no power in that area. I'm wondering if this is the area that we saw in Velocity near Kaukauna, where we were picking up 90-plus-mile-an-hour winds.
Wouldn't shock me at all. And the tricky thing about Law Street here, some of the
and
confusion
as a matter
is
of
that-
fact, we are, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me, but
Yes.
we're driving by the cemetery right now, and it looks like a lot of the trees might have landed on a lot of the headstones here.
You have
yeah,
a lot of trees.
There's several trees here you could easily see. Yeah, a good amount of trees right here along the cemetery. Might be a little bit of a mess to clean up there, but yeah, continues to see plenty of trees down around this area. Not all trees are fully down. That's some good news, but definitely gonna need to do some cleaning up here.
Yeah, Christian, we can see the trees that are down on the street, but obviously we can't see things that are over, you know, to your right or to your left because there's no power there in Kaukauna. I'm wondering how many people in that area are without power because it doesn't look like anything is lit anywhere near you. Have you been?
No, as a matter of fact, I would say. What's your question, Patrick?
Oh, I was going to say, have you been driving and seeing no power for an extended period of time? Has it been like 10 minutes or 5 miles, or what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Yeah, so literally as soon as we crossed over into, as soon as we crossed Wisconsin Avenue right here in Kaukauna, that is where the cutoff of, I would say, the power has been out. Actually, now I'm seeing there's a warehouse here to my right. It looks like they have power. I'm not sure if the people on our left still don't have power, but as we continue to pull up on this road, I'd say we've been driving on this road for about a couple miles maybe at this point,
Okay.
almost a couple miles, and it looks like there's more power ahead of us.
Okay, yeah, and you know, sometimes those individual businesses like us here at Fox 11 have emergency generators just in case. But good to know, Christian. I do see lights coming back on as you're progressing down Law Street, but that is good to know. And Phil and I were seeing that couplet, well, I don't know, couplet's the wrong word, that indication of yeah, spike is probably a better way to put it, that indication that there were very high winds right around the Kaukauna area there on the National Weather Service radar. And it is good to see you seeing some more lights come back on. By the way, if you are driving and you come across an intersection that has a stoplight, stoplights are out, or if they're flashing red, treat that as a stop sign. Let's go over to Mark Leland and Michelle Melby. I'm not sure which one of you is going to do this, but you have some updated numbers on power outages.
Yeah, we've been tracking from WPS, Wisconsin Public Service, some of the bigger cities with outages. Oshkosh is reporting about 3,900 homes without power. Swamico has 3,000 without power. Green Bay, in the city of Green Bay, it's 2,400 without power, and in Ashwaubenon, 750 without power. I mean, when you add it all up around the area, it's thousands, more than 10,000, obviously, throughout the area, our viewing area here. So quite a few outages with the trees down and the high winds blowing over.
And if you go over to We Energies, it looks like Outagamie County has 1,086 customers without, some of the larger, these are counties, customers without service. Calumet County, almost 600. So Fond du Lac, it looks like that's almost 1,000 there as well. So, and yeah, like I said, Outagamie County, 1,000 plus. So yeah, definitely being affected. Winnebago County, 1,700, almost 1,800 people customers without power there. So definitely being affected by the
different power agencies across the state. But you know, WPS, where they serve across the state, they're reporting over 34,000 people without power from these storms. Patrick?
Yeah, thank you, and really appreciate the updates there. And we're going to have, I think, sporadic power outages, and that could linger into the overnight. We still have some warnings, but the bulk of this storm is starting to weaken. There are still a couple of warnings. I'm going to go ahead and check the warnings really quick while everybody kind of gets together. You can see the line of storms moving east. It's heading out towards Lake Michigan. Still some pretty strong storms approaching the Sturgeon Bay area, but this is what we have right now. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning for Marinette and Oconto, eastern Oconto. That expires in 2 minutes. We have the warning for central Door County. That expires also in 2 minutes. And then we have the one for eastern Fond du Lac and Sheboygan County. That expires in 2 minutes. Phil, you had an update?
I think we can, I think, let's take a look at that Sturgeon Bay camera again if we can, if we have that hot. You can see the rain flying by the camera, coming down in sheets. At the moment. So just kind of you could see, yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that rain is just absolutely pounding. You see the camera getting shaken around, and it's a little tough to tell on your screen, but you can see the curtains of rain flying past in the wind as well.
Yeah, visibility reduced significantly in that rainstorm.
Yep.
A lot of lightning, and those lightning flashes, especially when they're not out in front of the camera, it freaks out the iris. So you get those little white flashes and the hits on that camera. The radar indicating that line really overtaking the city of Sturgeon Bay at this point. But this is the leading edge of the line. The worst of the storm is moving through Sturgeon Bay right now. Even behind the line, you will still have some gusty winds. You're going to fill into some occasional heavy rain, and then you're going to start to see things calm down. By the time we get to midnight, most of the area dries out. You can see this line right now pushing through Sturgeon Bay and continues towards the northeast. But for now, still a warning. Matter of fact, let's go back and check the warnings, because I've heard a bunch of dings there on our
Some marine warnings.
on our computer.
It's some marine warnings. And then I still have Milwaukee up here, so it's stuff down in Dodge County.
I see there's still a thunderstorm warning down in Dodge County, and a new warning until 10:45 for the northern tip of the Door Peninsula. But these remaining warnings are set to expire here in about 20 seconds. So as those expire, we get to 10 o'clock tonight. We'll do a quick jump onto Fox 11 News at 10, see some of the news of the day, and then come back and do an update. We'll kind of gather ourselves, do an update of what we're going to see here for the remainder of the evening as these thunderstorms are moving through. But right now, line of thunderstorms right over Sturgeon Bay. New warning just issued for, and there it is. There's just a warning. I got to hit play so I can zoom in. So it is now 10 o'clock. There is one warning left from Sturgeon Bay up to Washington Island that runs until 10:45. The worst of the storm over Sturgeon Bay right now. In this warning, you could see winds up to 60 miles per hour, but the entire line of thunderstorms is now starting to calm down. So for now, we're going to kick off Fox 11 News at 10, and then we'll get back to the weather here in just a few minutes.
Balanced news and severe weather coverage. This is Fox 11 News at 10.
We continue to follow a wave of severe weather moving through our area this evening. We have team coverage of tonight's storms. They look live from across our area, from Appleton up to Sturgeon Bay. This storm has brought damaging winds, heavy rains, and hail across northeast Wisconsin. Good evening, and thanks for staying with us tonight. It's been a night full of dangerous storms across the area.
Fast-moving dangerous storms, and after hours of coverage from Phil and Patrick, things seem to finally be settling down.
Phil told us about a transformer fire a bit earlier tonight, and we want to check in with Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz, who's on the scene. Ben, what are you seeing?
Mark, we are in Ashwaubenon where there was a transformer fire that has been put out. We are at the corner of Timber Lane and Ponderosa Avenue, which really isn't too far from the airport, near one of the Ashwaubenon public safety buildings on the corner here. That's what you should be looking at right now. They were just down the street about 10 minutes ago at the report of a transformer fire on Ponderosa, and someone from Ashwaubenon Public Safety that I spoke with said all the fires that they've had to deal with tonight for transformers have been put out because of the rain by the time they've gotten there. One of the pluses of the rain, but he told me they've just been dealing with the typical things that they deal with when there's a storm like this. Down trees, down power lines, transformer issues, electricity being out. He says luckily there hasn't been anything major or anything really unique that they've had to deal with tonight. Just basically your typical storm-related damage.
What is the latest with these right now?
Well, you know, we were watching the leading edge of that line that was moving through, and now the line is heading out into Lake Michigan. So the severe weather threat is really dropping off quickly. Still have a couple of warnings in the state, including one in our area, basically Sturgeon Bay up to Washington Island. That runs until 10:45. All the remainder of the warnings have been expired over our area. There is one just west of the Horicon Marsh, though, basically from Waupun towards Beaver Dam. So we still have to watch some of these scattered thunderstorms that have popped up behind the line. But for the most part, once that main line is out in Lake Michigan, everything starts to quiet down. And because of that, the tornado watch has been getting chipped away from west to east through the evening. The tornado watch runs until midnight, but I think we are going to see that expire before midnight. The main line pushing east, a lot of lightning with this line, and there has been really throughout the evening hours, a very intense line still around Madison, and then curving through eastern Fond du Lac County, up through Green Bay, and then to the north over portions of Marinette and almost up to Stevenson at this point. Some of these scattered thunderstorms coming in from northern Illinois, still holding the west end of the line back in Dane County, which is a bit concerning. And the warm front has got stuck over the central parts of Wisconsin. That also a little concerning. But the good news here is the big area of low pressure is going to run up towards western Lake Superior overnight. So right now, leading edge of the storms pushing out into Lake Michigan. We do have a trailing thunderstorm back here near Beaver Dam to about Madison, where there are still 2 severe thunderstorm warnings remaining. But the main push heads out into Lake Michigan. Then we turn over to more scattered and occasional thunderstorms, which will not be severe. And then as we head towards 1 a.m., almost everything's done.